meeting Tuesday, July 8th. We call to order. Roll call, please.
Trustee Williams? Trustee Williams?
Here.
Trustee Oscar Brown? Trustee Payton?
Here.
Trustee Griffin?
Present.
Trustee Rudez?
Present.
Trustee Larry Brown?
Here.
Mayor Covington?
Present. Would you please join me with the pledge of allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you for that. Approval of the minutes. The minutes for June 24th, is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second. Questions? Roll call.
Trustee Williams?
Aye.
Trustee Oscar Brown?
Aye.
Trustee Payton?
Aye.
Trustee Griffin?
Votes aye.
Trustee Rudez?
Votes aye.
Trustee Larry Brown?
Abstain.
And Mayor Covington?
Votes aye. On the June 10th, Clerk Jones, are we going to, let's discuss it today.
Right, as I put in the email,
Right.
when I emailed them, and I apologize, but the mayor's aware of some of the problems I had. If you guys choose to take action on it, fine, if not, I accept whatever.
In the light of the fact that we only received these today because of her technical issues that we experienced yesterday, she and I. Is there anyone that would like to move that we take this on the Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to table the minutes to the next meeting.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any objections? Roll call.
Trustee Williams?
Aye.
Trustee Oscar Brown?
Aye.
Trustee Payton?
Aye.
Trustee Griffin?
Votes aye.
Trustee Rudez?
Votes aye.
Trustee Larry Brown?
Votes aye.
And Mayor Covington?
Aye. Reports of elected, reports of elected appointed officials. Manager's report.
Good evening, Mayor, Board. I don't have much of a report today. The staff has been very busy preparing for the first quarter budget review and bringing the auditors back out in the next couple of weeks. And at that point, we'll have a more extensive report.
Okay. Are there any questions for the manager?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Trustee Payton.
Yeah, Manager Lanier, I got some citizens questioning me about some things, so I thought I'd follow up with you in addition to some other things from our last meeting, just on the status of them. They were wondering if code enforcement works on Saturdays.
Sometimes they do. They didn't work this last Saturday, but from time to time, they'll ask me if they can work on Saturday because there's certain things going on in Industrial Park or there are people who they know will be building on the weekends. So we'll work maybe half a day on Saturdays.
Okay, because they were concerned because some citizens from the Concerned Citizens Committee were passing out their monthly newsletter, and a code enforcement person called police on them, and three squad cars showed up, and the code enforcement, the person, whoever that was, didn't even look at what they were passing out. It was just a newsletter, just information. And so they were a little concerned about that. Why would a code enforcement person be working, first of all, on a Saturday? Why would they call the police? So they thought that was pretty strange. Another question I got was, are the police working on overtime to guard the Public Works building at something like $60 an hour? And there's been some theft over there, but they were very concerned that we have police working overtime to watch the Public Works building.
Chief is going to respond to that.
We're not at this time working overtime over there. However, we were working overtime over there in the past. regards to, we did have some burglaries occurring at the Department of Public Works. That's been rectified, and we have some security measures in place right now, so it's no longer being done.
Okay. The other thing is, and I forget who was going to get me comments, the agendas for the legislative and operations committee meetings. I talked to Trustee Rudess, and he's going to be getting me the minutes for it, but I wanted copies of the agendas for the legislative and operations committee.
That would
How
be
can I
fine.
get those? Can you just email them to me? Okay, great. Now, was a final determination made? We had this conversation last meeting about the mowers for public works and where the funds were going to be coming from, and you were going to check, you and Finance Director Jones, just to verify that. I think the last thing was they were coming out of the special use fund. Is that correct? And I also asked for copies of the detail for the capital budget.
The finance director, he's not here today. I forget where he left off with that project because he's off on vacation, but I haven't followed up with you.
Okay, all right. And that would include, a copy of the detail on the capital budget. Okay. I received a copy of a pretty disturbing email from actually a University Park resident who had booked a wedding reception over at the golf course. And she had sent out invitations and so forth, and then come to find out 3 weeks before the wedding that the event had been double booked. She was very upset at the professionalism of the response that you got from the golf course. And this is not the first incidence of this that I've heard where there have been some double bookings. So, but this particular incident, just, everybody makes a mistake every now and then, but this seems to be a pattern. I was wondering if any action had been taken to try to remedy this from happening in the future.
Yes, there is. I actually went over there and spoke with the golf course staff, the catering staff. When I received the same email, and they explained to me, their side, there's always two sides to the story. They felt it was a small birthday party they had booked, I believe, in April. They didn't realize it. Something else had been booked in January. They did reach out to the lady. They did refund the money. I did tell them how to go about in the future, being a little more receptive when they made these mistakes as far as helping people find a new venue and making sure they return their funds more promptly before it gets to such a level that it's in a public venue.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm just confused because the letter clearly said she signed a contract and it was clear that it was going to be a wedding, not a birthday party. Unless the other event was a birthday party.
And in the contract that she showed me, I think it said reception.
Wedding
I think she
reception?
said that, I think she said it was a birthday reception, but there did seem to be a lot of confusion on it, but they have refunded the money. We have spoke with them about making sure that all parties are reviewing their calendars on a daily basis.
Okay. Because I know I had that happen to me. And it wasn't a contract. I mean, I didn't go all ballistic on it, but I thought, we were out of town at the Las Vegas shopping center convention, and I had some family that were coming in, and 20 people. And they didn't know anything about it, even though I personally made the reservation, was sure that it would be taken care of, including how I wanted the tables arranged for the Sunday brunch. So, I also recall seeing an email from Deer Creek Golf Course about the playground that's being built adjacent to the golf course, Deer Creek Golf Course. And they were concerned that it would be a danger to those people playing in the playground. And I was wondering if that had been addressed in any fashion, if they were going to put up a fence or something to prevent the golf course from hitting those who might be playing in the playground.
If Ms. Childers wants to address that, since she's reached for that,
Trustee Payton, just to inform you, the company that we're working with, the way it is set up, it is not in the area where the golfers golf, and even if it was a home there, they would still have the same situation, because you do have homes that are around in that same area. So I went over there today and I took pictures, so I can share those pictures with you. And it's not even set up yet to play on, but it was about 6 kids over there playing basketball, and because they're extremely happy to have one. But I did go over there today to take pictures.
Yeah, have you talked to anybody on the golf course? Because they definitely seem concerned, because if there are any golfers that golf over there like I golf, everybody's going to be.
I met with the actual general manager prior to the project being put up, and his concern was in the event that the houses are there, then that would be the same situation. And he does have my business card, and he has not contacted me from that time that we met.
Okay, so you talked to the general manager?
Yes, sir.
I was on that too as well. I talked to the homeowners association president, and the playground is up, but they have their attorney on staff right now, because they said that someone from our staff wrote a letter and gave them the golf course some ups on this. I don't know what that was about, but she shared that with me. She thought that was terrible, but anyway, they are safe. And this was the thing that they said the golf course knew about when the development came up. So they didn't understand why there was such a terrifying surprise to them. They knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, I definitely went over there to speak with him before the playground went up, and asked him, various questions like Trustee Payton had just asked, and he said that would be our responsibility. Then I went back to Green Up and spoke directly to Bernie, and Bernie said, because you have houses, along with Jerry Hunt with me, when we were out there, when they first originally started the playground. And again, everybody agrees that if a house is there, what would happen in that same situation? So that is something that we can look in, but if you look at various fences, the fence that we would have to look at would be like a golf fence, which would be way over it. And because they are playing basketball, we would have to talk to code enforcement to see what length it would be, because you would have to take that fencing and it would have to come up and then go all the way directly across the basketball court. So netting is definitely something that we have been looking as an option. So if that's something that the board desires for me to begin to look at pricing, I can. But again, the netting, and that's something that I need to meet with Ms. Wilson and her association to find out if they want that, because beautification, putting a netting over basketball wouldn't look nice.
Yeah. Well, it's more the angle than it is, total. There's no 100% of anything, so.
Yeah.
The last board meeting also, we had a presentation here by, was it Kiner Metals Corporation, and I thought there was going to be maybe a workshop or something, and I've seen nothing on that, and I was wondering, where things stood on that. Did they just go ahead and take a walk, go to Indiana, or what?
No, what we talked about was they would sit down with the attorney and myself and begin negotiations. And we actually did send them a proposal, and they're reviewing our proposal at this point before they come back.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Yes, I do.
Yes, sir.
Have we heard anything about any progress of Cityscape?
No.
Nothing.
It has not been approved.
Have we acquired it about what's going on with it?
Not recently. I think maybe a couple of months ago. It's still in the same owner's hands. It's still a matter of court record.
Are we going to inquire, talk to the owners as to what their intentions are?
I think at this point, the only thing we can do is continue to board it up and place liens on it. I think the attorney gave us a report on it maybe 2 months ago, but we really didn't have a lot of jurisdiction of what we can do other than continue to clean it up and board it up and place liens on it. And it's something that the village will probably absorb eventually because it belongs to, I believe, a bankrupt owner.
Okay, my next question is of all the departments. Do you, in your reports, you get the reports from your departments weekly, monthly, or quarterly?
Pretty much weekly. And we've actually changed that over the last couple of weeks, but we're gonna start turning them in weekly. They're gonna do a much shorter report, and we'll get a board report on a weekly basis.
And these reports are given to you in writing, or?
In writing.
Okay.
No other question?
I'd like to just follow up on, okay.
I just want to know, I had a resident also called me about Family Dollar, concerned about the gate being open and garbage or whatnot out there. I want to thank him. Mr. Hunt is not here, but it was during a holiday weekend. He came out on the holiday weekend, and stayed until they cleaned that the garbage or refuge up. So I'm wondering, could code enforcement be staggered, or are they on contract, or if they're not, can we structure maybe one off on a weekday and one or whatever, they can rotate to work a Saturday? Well, I'm just asking.
Can I speak to that? I talked to the owner today, as a matter of fact, because I heard there was a complaint. I think it was Ms. Mildred Morgan. They said they came in and made a report. I got a report on it that she had came on, and I thank her for that, Ms. Morgan, because it was just terrible. There was a lot of paperwork, and she had reported it, and they did take action on it. So thank you again. And I spoke to him today, and he said that he was not aware of the fact that that was his property responsibility. So I asked him to stage a trash can, which he did do. There's a trash can there outside the building, and he said he will continuously pick the paper up. It's their responsibility. But he said he didn't know both sides was his responsibility. So I told him, we need to get that done and keep that done on a regular basis. So he apologized for it, and he said he's going to keep it on. Trustee?
Yeah, I just want to.
Yes, well, that's good, but I'm also wondering, could code enforcement be scheduled, have a rotation off one day during the week and have one working on Saturday or something?
It depends on their work schedule. They have a lot of things going on, but they are monitoring that store, and they're ticketing them very aggressively right now.
Okay.
Trustee King?
Yeah, I'd just like to follow up on Trustee Larry Brown's comment about the Cityscape. Cityscape is on the market. It has been listed in the multiple listing service for $699,000. So, and I believe the last meeting I also gave you a tax record that had the owner of record at least on it, so you may want to contact them about what's going on there, because it is their responsibility. We do this all the time in real estate. So if you know somebody that is interested in buying the property, refer them to me. $599, and I'm sure that's negotiable. So.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
Got a question.
One final thing. I missed a note here. I'm sorry about that, Mr. Ward. You're going to also provide me with the analysis and the safety plan in writing for the Family Dollar store that we talked about last time.
Analysis and safety plan for Family Dollar.
Yeah, you said that Robinson Engineering had put together a plan or had done an analysis. So I asked, was there anything in writing that we could see, as to what the recommendation was going to be, because it was supposed to be a committee that was going to review what the best options were for that location. And I asked if somebody could provide me with that, and I was told that, yeah, it could be, you didn't recall something, but it could be put in writing and given to me, so I was just wondering if that was ever done.
No, I'm not following a safety plan for Family Dollar. What do you mean?
Right. In a previous board meeting, when we discussed the safety issues on the crossing at Family Dollar, you were going to put together a committee to take a look at all the options rather than us trying to do that here in the meeting. The last board meeting, when we changed the speed limit by Family Dollar, I asked the question, was the committee ever put together, and was there the analysis ever done as to what's the best way to approach safety at that crossing? And I was told that Robinson Engineering had done a study, or had looked at it and done some analysis, and I'm sure they didn't do it for free. So if they did, you know, if we paid them for it, I'm sure they could give us something in writing, one way or the other. And all I was requesting was a copy of that.
I think what we were referring to was what Robinson Engineering presented to the L&O committee, their crosswalk recommendations. And those are part of the minutes from the L&O committee, whenever those minutes are ready.
Well, you know, and if that's in writing, I'd like a copy. If it's not in writing, then I'd like to for it to be put in writing, because it was that's pretty standard fare for something like that, particularly something as important as public safety.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I just was gonna add, we did pass, the board passed, and we're in the process myself of, me and Mr. Hunt, of getting 35-mile-per-hour speed limit signs and some other safety signs and posting along the runway.
Yeah, I'm aware of that, and that's what prompted this whole discussion. You know, that we had this discussion once before as a board as to what we wanted to do there. We said that we would form a committee to, and I think you were going to chair the committee, and that we come up with some recommendations. And all I'm asking for are the recommendations that in writing.
Well, we could provide you with the minutes from the last meeting when it was discussed with the L&O committee, when those minutes are available.
Okay. Because I know part of the other comments that was made is they looked at flashing a light there with solar, being solar powered, and you know, that kind of thing. So, you know, but it was too expensive or something, you know, additional lighting there, or you know, for the evenings or whatever.
Well, Trustee Payton, just to bring you up to speed, there were some options that we do have. We have like the solar panels that we can put up on the corner of University Parkway and Burnham. There's also an opportunity to put a crosswalk with a flashing yellow signal right directly across from Family Dollar, if I'm not mistaken, Chief, that would lead into Whitney Woods as a pair of the school bus stops. And there's also additional work being done on the corner of University Parkway and Black Hawk. So those are the three safety issues that you may be speaking of. But those things were all brought to us through the L&O committee, and those things were discussed thoroughly, and actually their proposals were presented to us. And we're just trying to, as a board, united board, all of us care about people in our community being safe. So we're trying to find out the best and most fiscal way to go get those things accomplished. I think the Hawk system was a little more expensive than we actually anticipated, but we're looking at ways to get those systems paid for, because those are great benefits. And also there'll be signs down by the Monique Middle School as well with the Safer Routes to School grant, and there'll be additional lighting and sidewalk and signage down in those areas. Now, anything else that you may be speaking of, I'm kind of unaware of.
No, but there was a written report that was prepared that your committee reviewed. I think Trustee Payton just wants to see a copy of those, of the 4 or 5 page written report.
Okay. Share that with the entire board. Okay, any other questions for the manager? Mr. Gilbert?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Thank you, trustees and citizens. Just had a quick question, Mr. Lanier. I'm just asking, why is it so hard for the treasurer to receive statements that he asked for, and also spreadsheets that he asked for? Because my concern is that, you know, when the citizens ask the treasurer for, you know, financial information, he needs to be able to speak about it. So,
You had not expressed to me you have any difficulty receiving this information. I thought that you and the finance director were exchanging information on a pretty free and open basis. But you hadn't expressed to me that you were having any trouble in getting anything that you asked from him.
Well, I'm expressing that.
My question for you, all of us received that email from the resident about the double booking and how upset she was. So I'm hoping that that won't repeat itself, because it's been happening. Like you say, there's a pattern. Can you tell us, with that said, the experience or where the kitchen status is on the kitchen repairs? Where are we with that?
I don't see the kitchen manager here today, but I do know that they were out yesterday. That they completed the fire inspections. They've taken out the old fryers and under investigation.
Okay.
They're now in the process of having someone clean up the place. They should be back operating pretty soon. Now that they've got to go ahead and clean it up and start the repairs. I believe the new fryers have been ordered and should be delivered by the end of the week.
Thank you. Also, last meeting, I have requested job description and announcements, and do you have a time frame for their completions? Are we working on that? Is there a time frame I should be able to get that?
We don't have any open positions that we're advertising for currently.
The ones that were open, I'd like to see the job descriptions of those in their completions. How are they open? How they're announced? Where they're publicized? Because so many people have been coming asking for jobs, and I told them, I'm not aware of how your process is, and I'd appreciate it if I could get that. Okay? Any other questions? Okay. Mayor's report. My report, we had a continuation with the Organization of South Suburban African American Mayors with the Commissioner Sims and Tom Percival and a representative from the Governor's Office. And were issues of things of fundings that we have on Governor's Highway, Governor's State, some issues they talked about that, and the Cicero projects and the fundings, because that is Cook County, and that's where they said that they would get back to us and give us some more information. So we have proposals that all the mayors have got together and given to them as far as the staff on that. I had a meeting with the Committee of Economic Development and their plans for various projects. The South Suburban Mayor Managed Staff is developing a preliminary surface transportation program for year 2015 to 19 based on the current status of the existing projects. Upon this action was made updates from the South Suburban Southland Council of Mayors to validate and report the status of our upcoming projects, which was accomplished and completed. We have a list of things that I said that our village needs, which I talked to Mr. Lanier again, our engineers, and also Mr. Townsend, and they gave us an update. And again, I would thank Robinson Engineers for an outstanding support, and Mr. Jerry Townsend for our IDOT University Park Section 3 submittal. That was given in control. I'm also happy to announce University Park is one of the, I don't know if we're the only, but I think we're one of the only towns that were backing up with our electricity that Wednesday in full force. Some people are right now still without power and electricity, and basements are flooding. So I would like to thank, I will not say it was a terrible storm, because that's a demonstration of God's power, but I am very, very happy that we were up and about and the contacts that were made. And that's the end of my reports. Committee and commissioners? Reports about the officers, maybe we just need to take that off, because we don't have committees anymore.
Don't say it like that.
Most of them. We only have 3, so we don't have a lot of them. We're limited. No, I will say we don't have that. We can kind of limit that. Reports of other officers?
Well, Mayor, I'd just like to make, for committee and commission,
Okay.
I'd just like to make an announcement regarding Family Fling. It's the annual back-to-school Family Fling. The date is Saturday, August the 2nd, 2014. It's at Palmer Park, 600 Homestead. The back-to-school parade starts at 10 a.m. sharp, starting at 90 Townsend Drive and Homestead Road. Family Flame noon till dusk, just west of Western Avenue, featuring University Park Idol Contest, live entertainment, kids zone, backpack giveaway, motorcycle, and much, much more. So anticipate that, residents. Look forward to that. Again, put that in your book and on your calendar, Saturday, August the 2nd. And I'm quite sure that if there's more information that you guys need, you can contact Mrs. Keely Childress at 708-534-4837.
Okay. Well, there's no one here for baseball, but they let me know that this Sunday at Palmer Park, Sunday at 1 o'clock, they're gonna have their ceremony for the baseball celebration at Palmer Park this Sunday. Baseball. Reports of their officers. Sorry.
I just wanted to report real quickly that the police department partnered with Family Dollar Store. On the 4th of July, we had a cookout up there. We gave away free food and prizes and presents to all the kids that came up there. It was a great success. A lot of people don't have food to splurge with on some of the holidays. So all the food was free that we gave out. And just want to thank Family Dollar for partnering with us and doing that.
Good job, Chief.
Okay, any other?
Good evening, Mayor and Board of Trustees. Just wanted to let you all know that day camp is definitely up and running. It is blooming. We have a total of 65 residents, AKA about 30 non-residents, and they're having a wonderful time. I want to say the 65 are off and on based on vacations and stuff like that. But last week we had the best talent show. It was awesome. Special thanks to one of our college students, Eddie Tate, had to end up leaving early to go back to school, but he did tie-dye shirts. So now the kids want to participate in the family fling. So it was just so nice. But I want to encourage the residents to come out to Regal Farm, Pine Lake, and Hickok Aquatic Center. Everything is so wonderful. Take advantage of your own community. Call our office at 708-534-6456. Starting next Tuesday, those 65 plus will be going over to the golf course, and this wonderful golf pro right here will be teaching golf lessons every Tuesday from 12 to 1:30. So again, residents, if you are interested in any programs or any special events, give us a call. Thank you.
Good.
Yeah, Madam Mayor, Board of Trustee members, the Department of Community Relations is going to host a Motown Music Sunday, which is actually a classic and custom car and bike show in the parking lot of Town Center. As I said, on Sunday, July 20th, 2014, between the hours of 3 p.m. and 8 p.m. There will be various activities in addition to viewing the classic and custom automobiles and bikes. And when I say bikes, I mean motorcycles. There will be activities and entertainment for children, including I never know what that thing is called. What is it? It's inflatable bouncing apparatus. Also, there will be a slide for children to play on. We hope to have a beer garden, other food and beverages. It should be it's being planned to be a very entertaining, family-oriented event where you could be comfortable and be entertained whether you're 3 or 103. Also, I want to point out that the Department of Community Relations is also developing a jobs bank. I have not figured out what to call it, but I am definitely clear on what we want to do. What we're trying to do is to find all of the people in University Park who are actively looking for employment. We're in the process of developing a form that you can fill out that would indicate what your skills are, what areas of new training you might want to pursue, what your basic interests are, what you are ready to do as an employee, and what you'd like to do. That should be up and running on the website within the next month. Hopefully it'll be a lot sooner than that, but we're pushing to get it done as quickly as possible. There are other events that the Department of Community Relations is trying to organize that I'll speak about as we get closer to organizing.
Mayor? Yes, sir. Mr. Bell, for the car and bike show, is there a cost?
No, there's absolutely no cost involved in this. But there will be vendors here where you'll be able to purchase certain things, but for attending the car and bike show, there's no cost. For the rides and games or whatever the children will be allowed to participate in, there's no cost for that. I'm hoping that we'll have, in addition to everything else, a stepper's tent where you can go in and learn how the basic steps to learn how to step. I'm still at the basic stage. I might be in there all day. But there is no cost for attending.
And is there a cost for car participation?
No, we're also asking anyone who has a classic, custom, or a clean car, which might exclude me, but anyone who has a clean car who wants to come up and show their car off, we welcome you. We encourage you to come up. If there's anything unique that you'd like to tell people about your car, or your motorcycle, please come up. If you want to participate, please contact me at 708-235-1802 or 708-446-5067, or you can contact me at jbell@university-park-il.com.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you. On the job act, maybe you didn't understand or we didn't clear. I think Mr. Lanier and I and you need to talk about that because we did request an HR and we talked about the legalities of that. We talked about the legalities of the HR. So maybe we need to discuss that again because maybe it's not clear.
What I recall is that, Madam Mayor, you expressed a concern about people giving their social security number out. And I tend to agree with you that that's something that should be considered carefully. What I did was, in light of that, what I did was I clearly indicated on the form that although I'm asking for it, I put in parentheses that information is optional. I don't need it. Let me be clear about that. When the form is completed and you can go online or to the website and fill that form out, no one in University Park needs to know your social security number at all. That is something that's totally optional, and I tend to agree with the mayor that might be information you might want to keep to yourself. We are not providing jobs for people. We're trying to put eligible and qualified candidates for positions. We're trying to place them in touch with prospective employers who might hire you. So we would not need that information. Hopefully your future employer might or will, but no one in University Park will.
Well, thank you for that. Today I went on the band that we have here, Will County Workforce Development, and they have all this equipment, computers, all the, and we might talk about that. They're going to bring actually the employers that they're dealing with, and they have a bank, and they have the computer system there, and you go right in there, no cost to you, and you put your information, they help you build your resumes, they help you find the jobs, they tell you, and they even have scholarship money for you if you need to be trained for specific jobs or any training like a CDL and that. They will make the references for you. They will give you the money for it. So I think that's really a really big blessing that Will County Workforce Development is giving us. And it's every Tuesday at 1 o'clock, and they're right here in University Park. I think that's a great access that we got for free. Thank you so much.
That was one flyer that was included in the last newsletter.
Yeah.
I think they're here just about all day on Tuesday.
And no, Tuesday from 9 to 3.
Yeah.
So you will
But
get
that
more
is,
information. Yeah,
that would be
please
something that
take advantage of that. Thank you. All right. After that, others? Okay. Unfinished business. Second. Oh, I'm sorry, public. Oh, God. Trying to get out.
see many people who have heard this before, but we limit the public, general public discussion to 30 minutes, and we ask people to limit their comments to 3 minutes, and we will keep time and let you know when your 3 minutes are up.
And if we cannot get to everyone today, we will start you as the first person at the next meeting. Mr. Brian Coleman,
Yes.
please. And who's taking time? Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor.
Good evening, sir.
My name is Brian Coleman. Some of you know me. I'm the executive chef of the University Golf Club. I'm here today because expounding on what Mr. Payton had talked about in terms of bad communication, mishandled functions. It's a commonplace there. It's a commonplace. You know, I've been in this industry over 25 years. I have a degree in hotel restaurant management. I've owned, run various businesses throughout the United States. I've been with the golf club off and on since 2007. At this point, you know, if you're looking for failure, you put the very best team together to do that. You know, and I expound on that, and I hate to do it in this setting. You know, some of you I have visited with and you've heard me, others seem to avoid me. But at this point of today, you know, it is truly a travesty as to what is going on in terms of how we conduct business in the restaurant side of the University Golf Club. You know, it is just, I've never seen it like this before. We have certainly gotten away from professionalism. We have gotten away from customer service. There's lacking of accountability. And if you're looking to increase revenues, you have to have accountability. You know, if there's no accountability, you cannot expect things to operate and manage in a positive manner, which it is not at this point. Myself, I am very discouraged. I'm very frustrated as to the way that we are handling business right now, and it certainly needs to be looked into.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you. Your comments have not been overlooked, and I'm sure Mr. Lanier will look into that and get back with you and us as well. With that, I would like to see some type of plan, Mr. Lanier, that comes from the golf committee that he's referring to, and get back with the village trustees and let us know what their plans are, how they're going to improve some type of project management display. Okay, report. Thank you. Next person. I'm sorry.
I'll just make a statement. I wanted to make a motion earlier, but our attorney, Mr. Nyman, sent an email to all the trustees about this company taking over the golf course. What their fees were, whatever. I think we should investigate and look into that. Let them take it over. We get rid of the high salaries, let them run it. And I think that would be a good idea. Because if I remember correctly, this is what, the 10th year of that golf course? 10th or 11th year? Well, about 11, it may be 12th year. We lost about $10 million on that golf course. And I feel enough is enough for the taxpayers. So I would like to look at this, letting somebody take that over, run it, and call it a day.
Thank you. I did read. I'm sorry. Just a second. Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Stewart, the question is to you. Isn't that email saying that we have to pay them $15,000 a month?
$150,000.
Yeah, $15,000 a month and then $1,000?
Yeah,
we have to pay.
No, absolutely. No, what I sent to the board was simply information that in fact some governmental bodies are bringing in professional companies to operate their golf course and suggesting that you may want to look at it. It certainly was nothing more than my job as your lawyer to bring to your attention things that other communities are doing.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. Trustee Brown,
Yeah,
Larry?
I have to say, I want to say that this is the first time this issue has come up to privatize that golf course. This was brought up a few years back, and it was not very well received. So if we're just talking about one portion, which at the time I believe that was the concern, was the running of the restaurant and the bar. Because we have no regulation. We don't know anything about what we receive, how much we make per bottle. We don't even know. And there was a system that was supposed to be put in place to resolve that, and that never happened. But and I think the issue, I don't believe, is we all know that it's not on the golf side. It's always been on the restaurant and the bar side. So we're looking. I welcome us looking into the prospect of doing it, because that's where we are. That is where the money is being made and lost. So I welcome, those. Hopefully everybody's on board with doing that, because we have to stop the bleeding. Gotta find somebody to stop the bleeding.
Mayor.
Trustee Williams?
Okay, I would like for everybody to participate in a meeting. We do not have a quorum. We can never get together because we do not have a quorum. I have expressed this, the mayor can't be there, Lanier couldn't be there, then Lanier starts coming, then the mayor can't be there. We need everybody there so that we can.
I don't bring the quorum.
Huh?
I don't.
No, with other people you do it, So this is what I'm saying. We need a forum, and we need to sit down and talk. We're gonna talk about it. Let's talk about it. We're trying to have a meeting, and every time it's canceled. It was canceled last week. We're gonna do it tomorrow. It's canceled again. No forum. We got to have a forum.
Exactly. I was available last week, and they canceled it. You're absolutely right. Trustee Milton.
Yeah, I guess to me it seems like the golf course is being held by a different standard since they eliminated all the other committees, important committees like the Educational Advisory Committee, and some of these other committees that allegedly did not have quorums, but we maintained the golf committee. That's a little strange to me. Secondly, just to piggyback a little bit on Trustee Larry Brown's comments about the probability of the golf course. If I remember correctly, and Trustee Griffin, he's absolutely correct, the golf course has never made any money. Off the top of my head, the golf course lost in the last calendar fiscal year $1.2 million. That doesn't even include the bond payments, the proportion of the bond payments, which are estimated probably about another $350,000 a year. Now, I just want to expand on the fact that that loss did not come only in the restaurant. You don't lose that much money in the restaurant. It's the entire golf course that lost the money, so that it has to be on the golfing side also. So, I at one point tried to work with the golf course to put together a strategic plan for them. Did quite a bit of analysis, thought we had a good plan. Did not receive the cooperation that I felt we should have had. Passed that on to the village manager. Passed it on to the new restaurant manager, Mr. McCullough, and still we are probably losing quite a bit of money. And to piggyback on the chef's comments, it is not only the plan that we have, it's the execution of any plan. You can have the best plans in the world, but if you don't have capable and professional management to make it work, then it's not going to work. I can put together a perfect plan, but unless you have the bodies involved to execute that plan, that's not going to happen. And we as a village, since we are really now at the bottom of where we need to be as far as our lack of reserves are concerned, we have cut the fat and we're getting ready to get into bone. And we need somehow to stop the bleeding. We need to put a tourniquet on there one way or the other. So, you know, Mayor, I would recommend that something needs to be done. We need to have a workshop and probably discuss this thing beyond the golf committee. And just, you know, not to be critical, trustee, my position was that when I looked at the golf committee, the golf course is a business, and you need to have business people that are going to make business decisions, not golfers. There's some tough decisions that need to be made relative to that. And while I know that the volunteers have the best interest involved in trying to make the golf course work, you know, there's things that they just really don't even, maybe not even aware of comprehensively. I mean, there are different people that have different pieces, but, you know, as far as I was concerned, having attended several of the meetings, that there was just none there after I spent 25 years in corporate life doing exactly this kind of thing.
A question has been asked from the audience as to how the timing would be done. Let me just tell you, from my standpoint, I think we've only actually had 2 minutes of public comments. So the comments from the board members will not be deducted from the from the 30 minutes. I would like to say, if I may just say one quick thing about the law in this country with regards to comments from employees of the government is something I just want to say something about, because I think it's perhaps important people kind of understand it. The law says that if you are an employee of a governmental body and you have concerns about your job and your work with the governmental body, you have an obligation to report those, generally in writing, through the ranks of the government and to the manager in this community. And people have been fired, actually, and many people have been fired, who have come to public meetings and have decided that they are going to tell the public and they're going to tell the board what their views are about mistakes and errors that the governmental body is making. That is not the way public employees are supposed to function. They are supposed to provide their views to the people in the organization and then move it up the organization. And only in a last-ditch effort are they given the right of public speech to express those views to the public. So I'm not trying to suppress people's views. What I'm trying to say is that people have lost their job for getting up and basically saying, I work in a dysfunctional, terrible department. That is not the way public employees are supposed to express their views. They're supposed to put them in writing with clarity to indicate what their concerns are and what their views are, and they are supposed to, in fact, put them into the organization. So I know a lot of employees watch, there are employees here, and I know a lot of employees watch these tapes. And I want to express the fact that there is a way for public employees who have concerns with their work to express those views in as strong and as clear a way as they want to. But the law does not actually allow them, as a matter of public free speech, to come to a meeting and announce their concerns in public. That is not the way, in fact, the law works, and I just want to caution people for the future.
Okay, question for you. Just a second.
I've done that, and if you want to terminate me, you can. I'll put it in writing.
Just the thing is, chain of command, which I don't think anybody knows that, or is following it the way it should be done. And that goes back to employee policy manuals, which I think Mr. Lanier has, I don't know if he's updated or passed it out. The people, employees should have an employee policy so they would know what their laws, rights and not, what they're supposed to do, the chain of command. But we do need to know the chain of command. Okay, and if we do that, which I did receive too, but I thought their price was a bit over the top because their costs that they would like to do to run it was a little more than we would think about spending. We don't have that expenditure, or is that budgeted right now? But we do need professionalism, and if we do that, I would like the residents to have a part of that. That would have to be a meeting for all of them, because they're taxpayers as well. So they should have input in that as well. Okay, Miss Annie Ward.
I changed my mind.
Okay. Ms. Mary Ann Alexander Griffin.
Good evening, Mayor.
Good evening.
Trustees. My name is Mary Ann Alexander Griffin, and I've been a resident for over 30 years. This evening finds me utterly disturbed. I find some of the things that's happening appalling. But first I want to start with the word hood, H-O-O-D, which is a slang for neighborhood. Now, Trustee Payton and I, we've had this going to and fro. And you have the freedom of speech. I just came up like one time and just said, I do not like for our community to be called the hood. So I let it go. I said, fine, because he's entitled, and it's a slang. So if you want to refer to this community as a hood, that's fine with me. But I was stunned at the last meeting when our mayor embraced the word hood, doing good in the hood. That I wasn't taken back. The woman of such esteem would sit up here and say, yes, we're doing good in the hood. Now, Trustee Payton, I understand. I think he takes things as a joke. And you, trustee, and you still, but our mayor, come on. Next, our children will be called hood rats. Our residents will be considered hoodlums. When the new students come in for the University of Governor State, they can say, oh, we live near the hood. There's a certain area here in University Park that's very lovely. They can say, oh, I don't live in that section. That's considered the hood. I live in the neighborhood. Now, neighborhood can, as the definition, I can't recall it offhand, but it's people gathering together. It's supposed to be fashionable. And if it can't be fashionable, people will start thinking of us when you say hood. Some people think of hood as being
real bad.
So I just want to address that, and I will never come up here again and address the issue about in the hood, because I do not live in a hood. And I hope the residents take this to heart. You do not live in the hood, because if we do, I want the sign out there to say, Mayor Vivian Covington, Mayor of University Park, the hood.
Thank you. Oh, sorry. Sure.
Please. Now, this is to Trustee Griffin. I know you should feel vindicated, because during the time when Mayor McGowan was the mayor, you were forever saying check number 1, check number 2, check number 3, check number 4, check number 5. It even disgusted me. But you should feel vindicated, because now you see they all do. Trustee Manager Lanier, check number 24652. We all do this. I hope you can come up with another idea where the trustees can follow. I appreciate you. Oh, but please.
We can't. I'm sorry.
Well, let me just say, can I please have a meeting?
He said you're going to submit it in writing.
Submit it in writing? Can I please have a meeting with all of you all that asked? This is really concerning.
Sure, ma'am. Please, we got to follow.
Because this is concerning my property.
Okay, we'll do that.
And trustee, and I do not mean to do this. I'm not disrespecting. I'm so sorry. But I try to call.
But you are being disrespectful.
The trustees don't have.
Wait a minute, excuse me. Point of order, you guys. We said, the attorney just said that you could put it in writing. Our attorney just said that. The great attorney.
No, I'll come back. And thank you, Trustee, for, making sure that I am seated.
Yeah.
And I hope you are doing good in the hood.
Yeah, let me just say something, for every person like yourself who criticized me using I gave an award doing good in the hood, because most people do understand what it means, right? And for every person, I probably have 20 or more people that really like it, so I know who I'm communicating with. And they know what I'm trying to accomplish. But let me just point this out to you. Normally when we talk about the hood in derogatory terms, we talk about a bad environment, a lot of loud music, thugs, garbage, no peace and quiet. I attended the last couple of months the Public Safety Committee meeting over at Thornwood House. And what I heard from those residents, senior citizens, disabled persons, amputees, those with cancer and sickness, was just appalling. It was the hood. Trash up to the 10th floor. One lady last night said that raw sewage has been in her apartment since July the 4th, and they haven't cleaned it up yet. People playing loud music, harassing folks, stealing, selling drugs, okay? This is Thornwood House, 1 Thornwood. So when you come to criticize some things, and I appreciate your comments, there are more important things to worry about. So when we are able to then, hopefully, through the efforts of Trustee Larry Brown's Public Safety Committee to perhaps clean that mess up, that literal sewage and trash that they have over there, then we will still talk about the hood, but in good terms. That's all I have to say.
Ms.
Milky Morgan.
What's bigger than that name calling?
Milky Morgan.
We just want to respect their name.
It's so unbelievable.
It's taking it personal.
Good evening. My name is Milky Morgan. Thank you so much, because I don't live in the hood either. And people that refer to our homes as the hood obviously have some problems. Back to, code enforcement. I'd like to know why on the 3rd, which was the day before the holiday, code enforcement nowhere on grounds at 2:30. 2:30 in the afternoon. I wonder, do they get paid for that, Mr. Lanier? With you being gone, and when I called and talked with Mr. Bolden, who takes your place when you're not here, he was not on grounds. Then as I called the office, Village Hall, got personally phone numbers from of the staff that works for code enforcement at 2:30 in the afternoon. They're not there. So here we don't have our village manager. We don't have Mr. Bolden, which we never see him. He's never here. He said he was going to be here. Still haven't seen him. If he can't attend some of the meetings, maybe Jeff or, well, the other lady's gone now, maybe they can attend some of these meetings because we have questions. A lot of people don't even understand that when Mr. Lanier is not here, that Mr. Bolden is in charge. But it was really, really just astounding that code enforcement was not here to clean up that mess. I called Trustee Elizabeth Williams, Trustee Oscar Brown Jr., and he rode his bicycle over to Dollar Store. I called Trustee Griffin, and those people responded. The garbage and debris that was all over. And I'm just a stickler, I don't know, maybe some people do live in the hood or want to make this the hood, but we don't like paper and garbage and stuff all over the place when I go down some other street, Wright Road. It's messed up, tore up from the floor up. Also, Comcast Towers. I'm going to be talking with Comcast because I'm interested in the problems that the residents are having with the telephones and the internet And I bought 3 phones from April 8th until just a couple of weeks ago. And that's because my phone just keeps messing up, it cuts off. I'm hollering, do you hear me? Other people are saying, do you hear me? And then it cuts my phone off, especially when we're talking about certain things, the phone just cuts off. You know, and because of my concern for this village, I'm trying to really just find out what is going on with Comcast, but I will be seeing it. Okay. But I want to thank you all for, and Elizabeth Williams, Trustee Williams, please continue to do the wonderful work that you're doing over at White Oak and also at Russico. Let it spread throughout University Park. That's the way it used to look.
Gordon?
You're doing a wonderful job over there.
Thank you. Ms. May Gordon?
Thank you.
Oh, I would like to make a comment on that. Ms. Morgan just said, I did thank her for her attention. We did get an email from Mr. Bolton what was happening there, and they did say that he was going to clean it up. So he did alert everyone. I did receive a phone call. So, Ms. May Gordon, would you come up, please?
Good evening. Please excuse me.
Sure, yes, ma'am. Ms.
And I
Right.
The mayor.
Someone take, please.
Mayor, trustees. I just wanted to comment on last meeting. I know we supposed to be professional people. You're supposed to. And I know when you took your oath and talked about being courteous to one another.
Yeah.
And I saw a lot of snickering and talking over people, not doing respectful to the mayor. Even if she's wrong, you're still supposed to be. Yes, you know what I'm saying.
Yes,
and I thought about the Tea Party in Obama. I thought how disrespectful whatever he do. They talk about him, call him all kind of names to his face. That's not necessary. We all supposed to work together. This is our community. And I've been in this community since '89. I know a lot of you have been here longer than I have. But I like to see you working together, not against each other. And if he's got something that you think is wrong, get together and talk about it. Don't spread it all over so everybody everywhere else know all about your business. And as far as I see today, we got somebody for security. Okay, we got security. You're supposed to give, if she asked you to give talking to Chief, when she asked you to give the order, that's your job regardless of who's doing or who you like and who you don't like. That's your job. And it's my job as a citizen to ask you and to talk about it. And that's what I'm doing today. And I would appreciate it that y'all wouldn't even talk about each other like that. This is our community, and you're our representative. And I want to see you working together and doing the right thing. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Robert Travis.
Good evening, Board of Trustees, Mayor, residents. A couple of comments, a few comments. In light of what happened to the barn about a few years ago where the fire alarm system didn't work, I want to know, did the kitchen have a halide fire suppression system installed? Because if it did, it wouldn't have had a grease fire. Another is, I noticed that the board, I looked at the board, me and Mr. Young, I couldn't find the board minutes from March to July. It wasn't on the website. Also, I've talked about this many times, which is changing of committees and commissions. The residents are in the dark, they don't know what's going on. We need to have a workshop to explain what went on with the committees and commissions, and maybe even resurrect those committees and commissions, because we get our information from the residents. Remember, they got 4,000 years of college education and 21,000 years of experience. We need to tap into that. Also, I'd like to know, we talked about the golf course many times, about other companies taking it over, and we brought it back to the board, and nothing happened. So we're doing this for the last 3 or 4 years. I'm sure Mr. Brown knows that. Another light is that, talk about the hood, that's not important. And we're in debt. The golf course is $10 million in debt. We have problems with the finances. And the hood doesn't mean anything. You may not have a hood. You may not be like Harvey pretty soon. So that's not important. Discussion about the hood, that's not important. We need people at the finance committee. We need people at the golf course, and we don't show up. So the comments on the hood is very important, not important at all, okay? But we need that workshop to get these committees and commissions back on the task. That's how University Park works. It works off with citizens and committees and commissions. When you don't have that, you're not going to have a community. That's all.
Thank you. Ms. Jefferson, Ms. Mary Pruitt. You want to bring the mic, did you say?
At this time, I'm going to pass.
Okay. Ms. Deborah Chandler.
Good evening, University Park.
Good evening.
As an educator, the one thing I learned before I started teaching and all throughout my career is that people rise to the level of your expectation. People rise to the level of your expectation. Whatever label you give them is what they rise up to. You label our community the hood. Self-fulfilling prophecy. What you'll get is the hood. That's all I really want to say about that. The other thing that I wanted to mention was there's a lot of good going on in my neighborhood. I heard it earlier. A lot of activities going on for the kids. That's great. As children, I wanted to know if there's anything that you need donated. And I don't have a lot of time, but I will donate, and maybe other people will too. It's about the children. And the children will rise to whatever label you give them. Also, the last meeting, it was mentioned about the industrial park. I understand that we're indebted to them or something. I really never could really get a clear understanding of that, but I understand we're paying them, we're in debt. I think the community and the residents and taxpayers need to have a clear understanding of what that means. Hopefully that's on record somewhere where we can reference that. I don't know. I'm just asking. Obviously, there's some checks being paid or something. We still owe them. Don't know what that's all about. Just need clarity. The other thing, the We Care team ran on the food desert. Are we still qualified as a food desert? That's what you ran on. We need to be running towards getting the grocery market here, the grocery store. What's really happening with that? And the last thing, I think University Park is moving on up. We're moving on up. And moving on up, we got to have a new vocabulary. It was said last week that, some things are just too ignorant to comment on. So I'm not going to comment any further on that hood comment. I'm going to let you eat your own words on it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, unfinished business. Second and third reading. General public, thank you for your comments. Unfinished business. Second and third reading ordinance amending Part 4, Title 6 of the Codified Ordinance of the Village of University Park as amended regarding the use of wireless telephones and electronic communication devices while driving. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Ruiz. Is there a second? Second by Trustee Griffin. Is there any comments, questions, concerns? Roll call, please.
Trustee Williams. Trustee Oscar Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Payton.
Aye.
Trustee Griffin.
Votes aye.
Trustee Rudez.
Votes aye.
Trustee Larry Brown.
Votes aye.
And Mayor Covington.
Votes aye.
Mayor Covington, that is ordinance O 2014-34.
Thank you. Madam Clerk. New business. First, second, and third reading ordinance accepting the lowest responsible quote for the two Toro movers and chemical sprayers and authorization financing of the mowers and sprayers for the University Golf Club and Conference Center.
So moved.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
By Trustee Griffin, second by Trustee Rudez. Questions, concerns?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
With the equipment we have over there now, and I know we've had equipment over, we have mowers and we've had sprayers. What are we doing with that? Is that going to be a little trade or some kind of?
equipment that we have right now, we would not be able to get a dollar. Most of the equipment we have in the golf course maintenance over is 11 years old, thousands and thousands of hours.
Thousands and thousands of hours over the normal operation time for that equipment. The equipment that you see here on the agenda is part of the fleet that we have. So even with some of the old equipment that we do have, we will be able to utilize some of those parts in case some of the new equipment have failure to it. At this time, we're spending a lot of money on just repairing a lot of the old equipment that we have.
So you're saying that the old equipment we have is going to be retrofitted for the new stuff?
The old equipment that we have, we will take out of the old equipment and put towards some of the other equipment that we still are repairing and replacing as part of the fleet.
So how many, you're talking about 2 mowers and just one sprayer?
Yeah, that's what we're speaking of. So for example, the 2 mowers are 2 green mowers. The green mowers, the fairway mowers, the T mowers, same type of equipment but different reels. So the 2 putting green mowers will be used just for that, the putting greens. The putting green mowers that we have right now, the reels will be removed from that equipment and put towards the new equipment, and then of course the old reels for the T mowers will be utilized for just that, the T mowers.
So you can interchange the blades?
That's correct. And unfortunately, it would be great if we could do that for every piece of equipment that we have on a daily basis, but it takes hours to adjust those reels. We'll end up scalping the golf course.
No, because you have to, it has to be a certain height.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Trustee Noseworthy.
Right, thank you, Mayor. Is the current equipment unusable?
The current equipment that we have to replace, well, the 3 pieces of equipment that we're asking to replace, we're spending a lot of money for example, the sprayer. We spend a lot of money to repair it on a monthly basis. I don't know when it's going to end up not working at all. We've replaced motors on the sprayer. We've replaced motors on the T mowers. Right now, for example, we cannot cut the T mowers because the only one T mower that we had is down. So we're having to wait for parts to come in so we can repair that T mower. Meantime, same thing will take place for the putting green mowers. We had damage done to the golf course, a couple of putting greens a couple years ago, because of the equipment is so old that the hydraulic system failed on the putting greens. So we're constantly replacing, repairing a lot of these things that is costing us a lot more money. I think last year we spent over $30,000 just on repairing equipment.
So, because that was going to be my next question, for these 2 particular pieces of equipment, how much did you spend? Because it gets to a point where it does make sense to replace it if the costs exceed it. See, my problem is if you're losing $1 million a year, I'm not, I don't have any sympathy of spending more money, and we're not making any progress. So if it's not usable, if it's unusable and unrepairable, that's a different story.
Well, again, trustee, the equipment is not usable. We're constantly repairing the equipment, a lot of man hours as well as a cost to get these parts. Okay. Again, $30,000, over $30,000 last year in just repairs.
Just on those 2 pieces of?
No, sir, on all our equipment. Again, all the equipment that University Golf Club had in the golf course maintenance department is over 11 years old. 11 plus years. Thousands of hours over the operating lifetime for those equipment pieces.
Okay. Now, I just want to clarify something here, because on board packet here, it has the amount budgeted is $14,000, and the amount requested is $14,014. And this is going to be financed with a monthly lease, 6-month lease, but over 6 years at $2,335.82 a month. So the cost really is not $14,000. It's really, we're taking the lowest quote here, the Reindeer's price, which is $76,349.
That is correct.
That's what you can see. Rangers price quote.
Okay, so essentially what we're saying is we're spreading that cost over 6 years.
That's correct.
Okay, so roughly $14,000 a year. Okay.
My question, Paul, is it that we couldn't have brought this earlier? Why was it later? Why haven't this come up earlier? I mean, it's apparent it's 11 years old.
Well, we have talked about it in the past as far as equipment.
Right.
We've talked about it in the past. I was able to put it in the budget this year, my budget, the golf course budget, golf operations, excuse me. We have tried to work with the equipment that we have, but we're just constantly spending a lot of money.
That was my issue. We should have tried to do something earlier. We could have, but I understand you couldn't put in your budget for years. So, okay, thank you. Any other questions?
Now, why wasn't this part of the capital budget or the special projects fund?
The golf part,
Capital item.
because the golf course is not part of our governmental funds, it's an enterprise fund, so they stand alone as a business.
Okay, so if they stand alone as a business, then we don't pay their bills out of the general fund when they're short?
Those are considered loans to enterprise funds.
Oh, okay.
Trustee,
I'm sorry, and I thank you for answering that question for me, sir. And I was looking at those letters dated April 2nd, and it says that the pricing and the lease quotes are good for 30 days. So are we good with this price, or
We're still good with the price, sir.
Okay.
We're still good with the price. As of today, we're still good with that price.
Thank you.
any others?
Roll call. Trustee Williams.
Both sides.
Trustee Oscar Brown.
Aye.
Aye.
Trustee Griffin.
Vote aye.
Trustee Rivers.
Both sides.
Trustee Larry Brown.
Both sides.
And Mayor Covington.
Aye.
Mayor Covington, that is ordinance O 2014-32.
Thank you. Clerk Jones. First, second, and third reading an ordinance amending Chapter 666 Safety, Sanitation, and Health, Section 660-03, litter control, providing requirements for trash containers and closed facilities in multifamily residential developments. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by, I'm sorry, I didn't hear. Moved by Trustee Griffin, second by Trustee Rivers. Questions?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Usually when we have an action such as this, or bringing an ordinance or a law into effect, something has failed. Now, I guess, and my question, you know, what has been ineffective? Has code enforcement been ineffective in helping to monitor these issues with the litter around the multifamily homes? Are our fines ineffective? Something is ineffective to bring this about. And I'm just trying to find out, you know, what it is. Again, trust me, I don't have an issue with building a shelter for the dumpsters. But I think, and I'm looking at the fine structure, which I think is this is like a first strike, you're done type of deal. And I guess I'm looking at the progressive way. If we had a progressive way to act, did they fail?
This is not a staff initiative. What the staff has done, code enforcement has done, is They have ticketed them heavily for trash on the weekend. I think there's an issue with trash being dumped over the weekend by, mostly I think in certain complexes, by children or whatever, and it's spreading out all over the village. So we received a lot of complaints, and it was worked out in one of the meetings with one of the building owners and with one of the committees that they would desire us to place this on the agenda to have enclosures in the meetings.
Now, and my other concern is once this is implemented, you know and I know that the cost is going to be spread to residents who can probably barely afford to be where they are now. I mean, and that's just, it may not be everybody's concern, but there's still residents. And let's say, you know and I know that if they're hit with the costs and with the fines, it's going to definitely, the residents are the ones who have to pay. That's why I guess I'm searching for an alternative before this. Well, if we had an alternative, if we have not used it.
Well, I want to say to this, that I had brought, when I saw it on the agenda, I consulted our attorney. He had no knowledge of it, that it was being on here. And that brings a problem for me, first of all. Second of all, someone will eat this, and I know it will be the residential people that are renting. The third thing is, we brought this on the agenda last time as a first reading for research and for clarification. It stated for clarification. It did not come back. Clarification did not come back. And here we are, and I think we shouldn't be keep doing all these first, second, and third readings. I understand with the golf course, but this is just, and normally you have a first reading, then we have a second reading. And then I called to find out, see what's going on with code enforcement, and we had a complaint that there was a special meeting about this with these people. What was the meeting about? They said there was some special meeting and they were threatened. So if that's the case, this definitely should not be here today. I want to find out exactly what they were referring to. But is this supposed to be something threatening on people in the complexes? That's not good, first of all. Second of all, I want to know, where is the clarification? We did not get the clarification back. And here it is, we have a first, second, and third reading for an ordinance to be passed on something that I think $750 a day to a person without specifications in it, giving them an opportunity to actually build this. I know I brought that to your attention, Mr. Lanier, when I first saw it. And it says here the containers must be constructed within 60 days of the passage of this ordinance, because before that you didn't have that in here, which was disturbing to me. You just can't bring up an ordinance without specifications and give a person a free chance or an opportunity to build it. How can you even think about doing that? Oh, I'm charging $750 a day, and it starts extremely as soon as this is passed, and they don't have time to build it. So they're going to be hit with a $750 fine every day until they build it. Wow, that was ludicrous within itself. But now, you did put the 60 days in here, but why, I know I asked the questions that you had before. Someone was, what is it? Star Builders. I asked them, Star Disposal too, and I asked about that. They said you gave them a call, Mr. Lanier, and told them that they don't even buy into this. That's what's going to happen. And I called around the other villages. That type of thing in a village is not good, because they said most of the time the kids just throw trash in there. You're gonna have rodents, you're gonna have rats, roaches, and everything, because the kids are not gonna open the gate, then open the lid, and then put it in there. We're gonna have more issues than wanted, and plus the new trucks that they have, it's not user-friendly with them. Now they're gonna have to go through a gate, then have their trucks to use this. I'm not understanding why we just can't do this. And I asked them, why was the job? They said they came to us, code enforcement came to us one Saturday. We were in the process of cleaning it, and they charged us. They said that it was bad. They said, that's a weekend. So maybe we could just be user-friendly. We're trying to keep the people here. Everything's a threat. Rushing people, threatening them. No, we need to talk to the people and work with a relationship. Not just sit here constantly and say, well, we're gonna do this to you, right? Give them a chance. Let's talk about things. Say, listen, we need this done. Can you work this out and make it happen? Rather than do things like this. And I know for a fact, some of them are losing money and they're subject to leave.
Mayor, when you get
Yes,
finished,
sir.
may I
Yes, sir.
speak on this item?
Now we'll do an investigation a little further with this, yes.
I would like to say that, first of all, what originated this idea, if you do a survey through our community, that you see most of the multi-family units do have protection around their garbage bins. An example is the Family Dollar. So when there's an overflow of trash in the Family Dollar, it does not flow into our main parkway. The intention for this is to clean up our community and stop allowing the community to be trashed continuously over and over again. Every time that there's something new, out of the ordinary, that comes back a little bit different, that we're going to start standing up for certain things, and we're not going to be the old University Park and everything goes, there seems to be a problem. All we want to do is have a nice, clean community. We want our fronts to be clean. We want our neighborhoods to be clean. We don't want paper flying all out the community. We got public works cleaning up private entities' trash because it's overflowing onto the street. And yes, I was a very proud person with myself and Chief Bradley, Manager Lanier. We talked to a variety of the apartment complex managers, and they were in complete agreement. If that was now, if you got something different going on, that's because you got something different going on. But in reality, this isn't anything about strong-arming anybody. This is taking a step in the right direction and cleaning up our community and letting the people know that the same things that were tolerated before will not be tolerated anymore. As far as passing on the cost to the residents, these are multi-family units. These things are run by property management companies, and they're not going to hardly be able to just go right in and add the cost on. But there's a cost to do business, and University Park, in order for us to accomplish the goal in the community that we want, we cannot continue to just allow anything to go on. And I'm in strong support of any ordinance that's going to be cleaning up our community. It might be not be designed the way you want it to. And I've heard you say on several occasions, this trash is just horrible. We're paying these guys overtime to pick up other people's trash. I really wonder why are we having such a confusion about just cleaning up our community?
There's no confusion, sir.
And why do you, and then you guys go out there and spread misnomers telling us that we're going to chase the residents away, we're going to do this. No, we're going to clean up our doggone community. And those who don't want to live in a nice, clean, up-and-coming community, they have their options. But for those who do, I'm quite sure it will be appreciated for everybody. This is what legislation is supposed to do, set policies, not micromanage.
Mayor, I did have a chance to review the ordinance, which I've looked at tonight. The difference between this ordinance and the last one that you had before you was that the other one had dimensions, which in fact were, I think, a little difficult to understand. This appears to be a simplified version. There is a typo in the second sentence, so it should read, "The permanent trash bin enclosure shall be," and then strike the words 6 feet in height. If you strike those words, it reads correctly. It's "the permanent trash bin enclosure shall be poured in place concrete or other materials," etc., etc. And what it requires is basically a concrete or similar area for the whole area of the enclosed facilities, and the solid gate 6 feet in height, providing access. I don't think this will have any problem in relationship to the ability of the trucks to come in and deal with it. This doesn't have other dimensions. So again, it's a policy question, but from the purpose, in terms of the actual language, this is a simplified version that basically requires a fence enclosed area and a concrete.
Thank you. And it's not so much that when we brought the free garbage cans, the people sitting up here talking about that one, if you want to be clean, you look at the trash pickup day, which is tomorrow, and look how horrible it looks in the village. Our animals get out, they pull the trash, they tear the bags. Some people can't afford the garbage cans. We had an offer for free garbage cans, but yet that was denied. So, I'm not really hearing all that. You're so concerned about the cleanliness when that was just beautiful, and that was a great thing to happen. So hopefully that will come up and that will help us. I'm not so much as far as I'm concerned about the cleanliness, yes it is. But It's a way of how you handle professionalism in business. If we can sit down and talk to the people, all of us, and see how we can make this happen. Not just this type of thing. I think we should be more productive in a conversation and be professional with the people and say, what can we do to make this? We have a problem with your company and you need to do this and that. First, that's the first thing. I just believe in communications. Trustee Payton. Trustee Payton was there and then Trustee.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a question. Who prepared these ordinance with these specifications? Who prepared this?
Mr. Lanier.
So you got the information, because the last time we were told that what was at Home Disposal had provided that information, and when we checked, they hadn't, but so you...
No, they had. They had in fact provided those dimensions to me.
He requested it from him.
Afterwards or before?
Before.
Okay.
And these came from the code enforcement book. It's a generic description out of the American Code Enforcement book.
Okay. The last time we had this issue before us, we requested information on which apartment complexes would be affected by the ordinance. Now, based upon what I read here, anything with 3 units or more is going to be affected, and I don't think there's anything in University Park that's got less than 3 units. So am I correct in assuming, since we did not get a report on what complexes would be affected,
Right.
that this will affect every single condo complex, apartment complex in the village?
All the 3 or more dwellings.
All the 3 or more dwellings. So I'm correct in assuming that also, so that the cost of this will eventually be passed on via the rents to every single tenant in the village. Okay. Now, let me ask, because this, quite frankly, reminds me of fire ready aim. It smacks of the same kinds of thought that went into the head tax. So I'd like to go through a couple of pieces so I get clarification on it. Okay, since the attorney is agreeing with this. Now, from a practical standpoint, on page 1, it says all proposed residential developments consisting of 3 or more dwelling units shall provide trash container enclosure facilities. The permanent trash bin enclosure shall be 6 feet in height, poured in place concrete. So, if I have a fence, an enclosure now, and it's wooden or it's chain link or whatever, I'm going to have to tear that down and pour a concrete structure. Is that correct? That's what this says right there. A poured in place concrete enclosure. That's not what it says here, though.
It says poured trash container enclosure, the permanent trash bin enclosure.
Oh, yeah, or material of similar strength. Now, there are not a whole lot of materials that have the strength outside of possibly steel, with that kind of, or carbon fiber that has that kind of strength. So anything with anybody with a fence right now needs to put up a concrete fence. It doesn't say concrete pad, it says poured in place concrete. Okay. Right. And then you're going to put a gate in front of it. So, are there going to be any specifications on the gate? Is it going to be a double gate, depending on how many? Some of the larger complexes may have several containers in an enclosure. Are you going to have double gates, a single gate? Because I would submit, just as the mayor mentioned, that residents, kids in particular, are not going to open that gate each time and open the top of the dumpster and put their bags in. They're just going to flip it over the fence. So why is a gate even needed? I mean, that's the other piece. People throw their trash out all times night and day. So why is it, a gate needed? What was your thinking behind that?
Again, this is a description from the American Planning Association Code Enforcement Book. This is how they describe garbage enclosures.
Okay.
Garbage bin enclosures.
Okay. Well, to me, again, if we're going to pass an ordinance, and I don't see you doing 3 readings on one time, but I think we need to perhaps look at the ramifications on our community and the cost of living here. Now, the other thing it says here is that the trash container enclosures must be constructed within 60 days of the passage of this ordinance. Now, from a practical standpoint, if you're going to put up and erect a fence anywhere, there are procedures that you need to go through, correct, in the village? If I wanted to put up a fence, don't I have to get a permit? Normally have to maybe submit a survey, make sure that if I'm going to put up something, it's not on somebody else's property, doesn't infringe upon certain easements or that kind of thing. So I'm going to have to put together a diagram, get a permit. Then if I'm pouring concrete, I'm going to have to get a quote, license, quotes, and then do the construction. And I'm just here to tell you that that's probably going to take more than 60 days to do. So I don't understand the aggressive nature of why you wanted to put just 60 days in there. And if I have an enclosure that needs to be torn down, I got to tear that down also. Is that correct?
Why would you need to tear down an enclosure?
Because it doesn't meet the specifications of a poured concrete enclosure.
No, the poured concrete is for the base. It's just for the base.
Doesn't say that.
It's not clear. That's why I shouldn't have a first, second, and third reading.
It was clear to me. I think it's clear.
Poured in concrete or other material, enclosed on all sides.
On all sides, it does not say base.
When I read it, to me, I understood it to be the floor.
You understood it, but it's not specified.
If the board would like to change the verbiage, this is an opportunity to make it more clear and clarify.
Excuse me, point of order, please. Point of order, please.
Right. I mean, I think it's not, well, I know the ideas are good, and I agree with Trustee Rudez, we want to try to do what we can. But, like we saw with the head tax, where, later on we got people complaining because, it didn't really solve the problem, it kind of exacerbated the problem. Where, in the case of the head tax, even our children are starting to suffer because the company's not giving to the scholarships anymore. So the village is picking that up. And whatever cost that you're talking about here, I guarantee you, these are business people. They're going to pass this on to the tenants. Condo associations, for example. Well, they may be individual owners. They have trash bins, and that's going to be passed on to them. So I just think it's poorly conceived, and I would like to make a motion, Mayor, to table this until we can get a little bit more clarity on it.
So there's a motion to table, is it?
Yeah.
Table it. Trustee asked for a second?
Second.
The motion to table is non-debatable, so there should be a vote.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Williams? Vote nay. Trustee Oscar Brown?
Nay.
Trustee Payton?
Aye.
Trustee Griffin?
Wow. Votes no.
Trustee Rudez?
Votes no.
Trustee Larry Brown?
Votes aye.
And Mayor Covington?
Aye upon investigation. Get to the bottom.
I'd like a motion to amend this to the first reading.
Madam Mayor, just a second, order, sir, just a second, would you wait, let me recognize you, sir, please, thank you. The attorney was saying something.
I was going to suggest that perhaps this could be a first and second reading, because in looking at it, again, I didn't see this before tonight.
No, you didn't.
The word proposed should be taken out, because this says all proposed, which would solve the problem because it only applied to new developments, but that isn't what you're looking for. So I'd like to take a quick look at this. So obviously there's a policy issue, but in terms of the actual language, if it was be a motion for first and second reading, I'd appreciate that, and I would then take a quick look at it.
I'd like to make the motion to amend this to make a first and a second reading only.
I think we are.
I made a motion to make this a first read. We can always do a second and third the next time.
If you take your motion to first and second, we'll support it. If not, we just have to go first and second. If we can't continue
Wait,
with
you're
things,
saying something, you say what you're saying. You know what you're saying? No, did you hear what you just said? He said, we're gonna do this, and I understand the way. He has a motion on the floor, as moving it for the first reading, so is there a second?
Second.
Second. Okay, all roll call, please.
Madam Mayor, now, answer the
Yes,
question.
sir.
This is debatable. Yes. Okay. Actually, my question was again about the language also. When you were specifically turned down that said that shall be 6 feet in height, to me that doesn't sound confusing. It specifically says height, and it would be ridiculous that it be poured in place concrete to a height of 6 feet. Who would think to do something like that?
That's
When
why the
you're
language.
trying to interpret the statute.
Right.
Yeah, and so I personally think that that's okay, although taking out proposed, I did miss that. So it should be all residential development, 6 and 3 more dwelling units. And it should be poured in place concrete pad base. That way it's extra clear exactly what you are referring to. So I would like to make a motion to strike the word proposed after the word all in the first sentence, and to insert after poured in place concrete pad base.
Let me interrupt, because you can't make a motion. There currently is a motion on the floor. So there has to, the motion on the floor is for, that this is just the first reading, and that there needs to be a discussion of that, and then a vote.
Well, in that case, since we are discussing that, we're legislators, we're supposed to rewrite the law as we see fit. If what is supposed to be out is proposed, so it applies to all residential developments, and if you want to make it clear that is pad based, not a 6 feet high concrete pillar for a garbage can that nobody would ever think of, then I would like to vote down this motion and make a motion to strike the word proposed and then add pad based, so that nobody can ever be confused that you will have a 6 feet high pillar.
I'll second that motion, sir.
Excuse me, an attorney speaking.
I really have nothing to say other than the fact that we do need to vote on the current motion, which is, it's been seconded, right?
Yes, it has.
So this would be a motion to have only first reading tonight.
Roll call.
Trustee Williams? Nay. Trustee Oscar Brown?
Nay.
Trustee Payton?
Aye.
Trustee Griffin?
Votes no.
Trustee Rudez?
Votes no.
Trustee Larry Brown?
Votes aye.
Mayor Covington?
And Mayor Covington?
Aye. Okay, now the second one that Trustee Rudez put on the floor for a first and second reading. After the attorney will review it, is there a second on that?
Second.
Second on Trustee Griffin. Roll call, please.
Okay, this is for first and second?
Yes.
And then Trustee Rudez and Griffin?
Yes.
Trustee Williams? Trustee Oscar Brown?
Nay.
Trustee Payton?
Aye for first and second.
Trustee Griffin?
Votes aye.
Trustee Rudez?
Votes aye.
Trustee Larry Brown?
Votes aye, first and second reading.
Mayor Covington?
Votes aye.
And, excuse me, Trustee Williams? Okay. Motion carried to approve for first and
Second reading, yes. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, the next one is here, so welcome. Anytime, that's what you're here for. Okay, now the second one is, all right, here we go. The resolution supporting the partnership between the Park and Rec Departments of Illinois Flames Track Club and authorizing a donation of $1,000 to the Illinois Flames Track Club. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Griffin, second by Trustee Rudez. Is there a question? I have one. We're always willing to help. My thing is, I know we've cut our budget because of hiring, and they said they wanted to save money. Trustee Griffin, I understand that. It said repeatedly. So did we have this filtered in the budget to make this donation? Premise? That I see on the miscellaneous park and rec, okay, program, but it didn't specify this. We usually, when we put it on the line item, we usually say who it is, like the Cub Boy Scouts or Martin Luther King, but I just didn't remember his name, so you're just saying miscellaneous. Yes. Okay, all right, that's my question. Trustee Wilson Payton?
Yeah. Ms. Childers, if I may, could you maybe describe what kind of activities would go along with this donation?
It's in the language.
It's
And if I could, trustee, the two young ladies that will be working with us, they're here in the audience. I would love for one of them to stand up and kind of tell you the history of this program and what we're going to do. Thank you.
good evening. You come up to so we can see you and hear you.
And while she's coming up, have we ever had a relationship with the Flames
Yes, we have.
before?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, we have, trustee.
Okay.
Again, good evening, everyone. I'm Dorothea Franklin, one of the co-founders of the Illinois Flames Track Club. We've actually been in the community. I lived here over 25 years. The other coaching staff or members have also been in the community 25 plus years. And most of our athletes, our children, the community's children, are also from University Park. We've been around doing this. Again, the track club has been in existence in close to 30 years. We've been in and out of the community, coming asking for help. It is a track club where we have kids from ages 6 through 18, male and female. We get the group together, we train throughout the summer, starting with our official training in May, and we go through August. We travel throughout the state competing against other different clubs. Our kids get to run individually as well as on relays. We've endured this task on our own for the past of this year. We have been approaching, countless times trying to get assistance. And this year we did come to you a couple months ago asking for your assistance for it because the cost is just becoming so overbearing as private citizens. So we've come asking for the support of the community again and reaching out to the parents, the kids and everything, trying to get more kids involved so as we do, keep them off the street during the summer months.
Very good.
We go from, like we said, this year, we've been going back and forth through Rockford. We have a meet schedule in Kankakee. We have a meet schedule in Ritchie's where we're just trying to keep the kids involved. This training that we give them, they utilize it from junior high school, from preschool because it's 6 and up. But our junior high takes advantage of it. The kids, they go there, they compete, then they go up throughout the high school. And we look at it as an avenue for kids being able to get college scholarships. As we said, we want the community to grow. The children are our future. We're reaching out. We have athletes that have come up through the program, have gone on to college. And they are back in the neighborhood or they're around working in different spots. And they're also, as we get them and we get them to come back, coach with us, talk to different athletes, lend a hand here and there, and just doing different revenues that way.
Thank you, and thank you so much for that information. So maybe we should consider putting them as a permanent line item since they're doing so much for the village.
Mayor, just to let you know, that is something we're definitely looking at when I get ready to do the budget again.
Thank you very much. Okay, roll call. Any other questions, concerns? Roll call. No, I said roll call.
Trustee Williams? Both aye. Trustee Oscar Brown?
Aye.
I'm sorry.
Aye.
Trustee Payton?
Aye.
Trustee Griffin?
Votes aye.
Trustee Rudez?
Votes aye.
Trustee Larry Brown?
Votes aye.
Mayor Covington?
Aye. Thank you.
Mayor Covington, that's resolution 2014-13.
13. Okay. Resolution authorizing execution of professional service Thank you, God. Agreement with Clark Environmental Mosquito Management Incorporated for mosquito abatement services. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Moved by trustee Griffin, second by trustee Rudez. And any questions, concerns? Yes, sir.
When are they gonna start?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I guess I'm just concerned that, with the, okay, how long ago did they start? Because we're halfway through the summer already. And they have found incidences of West Nile, so I'm just appalled that we're just now approving this.
They agreed to start spraying earlier this month, in June, even though we didn't have them on the board agenda because they had done it for us for so many years in the past. It was slow getting on the agenda because of the transition in that Public Works Department, so we're still trying to put people together to pick up the slack in that area. So as soon as we can get it on.
Yeah, how many treatments? I know before when we've approved the mosquito abatement, they would tell us how many times that they're going to spray. Did I miss something here? 3 treatments?
Yeah.
Okay. And what kind of spacing is the three treatments going to be?
This is 5 community-wide truck treatments. In 5 targeted areas.
Well, that's for the helicopter larvae control. 3.
Yeah, the helicopter is 3, the truck is 5. It doesn't show the spacing, but they treat the larvae, so the mosquitoes don't get a chance to grow. I believe the village has been satisfied with their service in the past. I believe they said they've done it for 20 years.
Okay. Any other questions, concerns? Roll call.
Trustee Williams? Votes aye. Trustee Escobar?
Aye.
Trustee Payton?
Aye.
Trustee Griffin?
Votes aye.
Trustee Rudez?
Votes aye.
Trustee Larry Brown?
Votes aye.
And Mayor Kelly?
Votes aye, and trustee Rudez, I am not flying an airplane with this guy. You do that. I know, I'm not doing that. Thank you anyway. Okay, right now for your understanding, the bills payable. Bills payable for task for your approval is the listings of the general operating expenses for the Village of University Park, and the following is a grand total of the everyday expenses for the last 2 weeks from June 25th, 2014 to July 8th. General operating funds is $289,996.46. MB Financial Special Fund, which is $23,410.58. Road and Bridge, $9,101.10.00. Town Serve Fund is $12,858.11. Golf Course is $64,084.03. TIF 3 is $432,329.10. TIF 5 is $22,266.23, and the total of $854,054.51. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Rudez, is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Larry Brown.
Question.
Questions?
Question.
Yes, sir, trustee Griffin.
Okay. Yeah, that's what that's one of the ones I'm asked about. Check 82348, classic cobbler, peach cobbler, man.
That's,
503, I'm sorry, 50956.
Costco. Oh, he's not here, but that's golf course.
I wonder what they. That's a heck of a cobbler. Okay, golf course. Yes, a lot of cobbler. 82354, Crawford Murphy Tilly, 38,628.19. When will we be through with them? No, it's close. They get ready to start after the 7th, so they just about out. When will they, Mr. Lanier?
I've asked the finance director to shoot you an email as to how far we have gotten along with paying that bill. You might recall It started out at about $436,000. We agreed to pay them about $38,000. We've had to continue to engage them to do additional work because they drew the original plans, and it's much less expensive for them to do the updates for the plans and to have the new engineering company redo the plans. So.
Okay, I understand, but I want the residents to know why I'm asking for that specific check. And that's why whenever Robertson comes around, I have to really thank Robertson Engineer for doing the job. This company here that we paying all this money to, Crawford, Tilly, and Murphy, whatever. Crawford, Tilly, Murphy, what? They let us miss so many deadlines on the project out there before it come to fruition, before they finalized everything. It was years, they didn't do anything. That's why our bill was over $400,000 with Crawford, Tilly, Murphy, whatever they are. And that's why I was asking about that check. When will we be through with them? Because they really say what you however you put it, raped us, did whatever they want. They messed over us. That's why I'm asking when will we be through with them? Because compared to what they've done and what Robertson's done, it's like night and day. That's why I was asking about that specific check to see when would that be done. Okay, another one is check 82378. It records paving Fairway State Road project, $6,205. Now, is that coming out of general fund or is that coming out of a special fund? That's over there for.
That's part of the special purpose fund. You may recall the MB Financial gave us a $500,000 payment to.
Okay, would that reflect on the check description? Shouldn't that be special fund?
The check description doesn't tell you what fund it came out of. It just tells you who the vendor is.
Okay.
Toward the back.
Okay. Okay. Okay, that's it.
Thank you. Anyone else? You have one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know if you can answer this or not, since the finance director is here, but check 82395 on the top of page 2, which is Otis Elevator Company. It says elevator repair. I didn't know the village had any elevators.
While we don't have any elevators, we inspect elevators and we pay an outside vendor to inspect elevators inside the village.
Okay, so the description there is just really not accurate because it says repair and not inspection.
It should be an inspection.
Yeah, that's what kind of what I figured. All right, thanks.
We do have an elevator in the police department.
One floor.
My apologies, I forget about that. I always avoid the police department.
Poor. Here on check 82337 for Alex. Here we're paying 82338 Applied Systems reimbursement for a comment that it came out earlier. We paid $432,329.10. That's money that we have to reimburse Applied Systems. Also, to piggyback on what Trustee Griffin had said, once when I became mayor, that was one of the biggest things that was annoying to me when I asked Crawford, Murphy, and Tilly, what were you doing? We had something that's been sitting on the books since 1996. What are you doing? We're supposed to get this road done. Mr. Bud Fleming, before he retired, informed me that we're supposed to get this done and to get the $7 million that we had with the South Suburban Merit Managers and get that and make these roads work. And I asked them what was their purpose. They said, well, we figured you didn't want it. That you don't have the right to make a decision for University Park. So they said, I said, so why are we, what's your bill? They said, we owe you owe us $400,000. I said, based on what? you did this out of goodwill? He said, yeah, we just did it, we kept billing you. We figured you'd eventually pay us for what? So those are the things that was happening, and that's why we're burdened with such outrageous amounts of money that we had to pay not only him, the previous attorney as well, had not been paid $400 and some thousand. So we're breaking it down and trying to make good with the people and pay them their monies, plus the TIF agreements as well. Mr. Lanier and I walked back there and tried to work out some things with them because we owed a lot of money, but they were really kind enough to work it out with us. So that's, you'll see these on a regular basis as far as the payments to the TIFs and to other people. And that was outstanding. Are there any other questions, comments?
Roll call. Trustee Williams.
Aye.
Trustee Oscar Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Payton.
I had to pay the bills.
Trustee Griffin.
Votes aye.
Trustee Rudez.
Votes aye.
Trustee Larry Brown.
Votes aye.
And Mayor Covington.
Aye. With that said, now we have comments from the Board of Trustees, and 9:15, we're going to do the same thing, 30 minutes, 3 minutes apiece. Trustee Liz Williams.
Hi. I just wanted to let everybody know, wanted to remind you, I do have signs up all around the neighborhood that the GED class will be starting August the 19th. So anybody's interested in it, just give me a call, Trustee Williams, at 708-534-4237. That's, again, 708-534-4237. Okay, and it's going to be held right a couple doors down at the 70 Town Center. So that will be happening August the 19th. And it's free to the public. Also, October the 19th, we're going to have an entrepreneur class. Everybody's welcome. Anybody has their own business, you can still come. Anybody want to know how to start their own business, you can still come get some pointers. So that class will be starting in October, and it's October the 19th. Same phone number, Trustee Elizabeth Williams, and that phone number is 708-534-4237. Again, 708-534-4237. The class is also free to the public. So come on out and see what we can do. That's really my comments that I have for tonight. Okay.
Trustee Oscar Brown.
No comment.
Trustee Milton Payne.
You wish. But I want to thank you, Mayor, for reinstituting the 3-minute rule. That way I don't have to speak so long. I was getting tired of that. I appreciate that tremendously. Just for clarification, Ms. Taylor wanted to know about why we're paying some of the companies. Because there is some confusion if you don't understand TIFs, and that's what's involved. We made an obligation to the companies to build here, and then we would reimburse them with so much of the real estate taxes that they pay. And the village keeps a portion of it also for fire protection, that kind of thing for them, but also our efforts here. And hopefully, that'll go away. I just want to say, he's left, oh no, he's still here. Our community relations director, James Bell, he forgot that a number of, about 3-4 years ago, I saw him we took step lessons together over at Homewood. And he's better than he purports to be and not to be. Okay? So don't let him kid you and get you out on the floor. I want to also have the community to keep Miss Jonna Townsend in her in your prayers, because her family is very sick, and so she's out of town, and that's one of the reasons why she's not here. So both her mom and dad are very sick, so just please keep her in your prayers. And I'd just like to say that I attended, as I mentioned earlier, the Public Safety Committee, which Trustee Larry Brown was good enough to invite me to. And I attended the last 2 meetings. And as I said last night at the meeting, when I heard all of the hood-like things that were going on over in that building that remind me of the movie Network, where people were saying, where they said, you know, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. And that's just how I felt when I saw what was going on over in that building and how the residents of that building, who should be in the twilight of the years or trying to recover, were suffering. The entire community room was full of residents that were just so upset with what was going on over in that building. So we're working with the residents over there to try to affect some change. And believe me, based upon what I saw, a lot of change is needed. The last thing is the other group that is mad as hell and they don't want to take it anymore, the concerned citizens. And the concerned citizens meet right down here at 25800 Western Avenue, right on the corner next to PK Pantries on Western University Parkway on Saturdays from 11 to 12:30. And they will be meeting again this Saturday. They meet the second and the fourth Saturday of each month. So, okay. And they're also going to have a fundraiser at Balmoral Racetrack on July 26th. The tickets are $40, and it goes toward working to make our community a better place to live, the hood a better place to live. So that's all in my comments.
Thank you, Trustee Griffin.
Hurry back, Trustee.
Oh, yes.
Want everybody to come on.
Good evening. I'd like to thank everyone for coming out. I also want to thank the board and those members who stood with me and voted for the head tax. Good things are coming out of them funds. Two of them are the residents went out talking last year and campaigning last year. Trustee Oscar Brown and I made a promise to residents on Circle. And with this head tax, we're able to keep that promise. We're going to put a guardrail around that curve there. They've been complaining. And with the head tax, we're able to get that money and take care of the residents who need that. Also, a lady, I can't remember her name, she stays where one of our other trustees stays, in Pine Court. Stay right around the curve. Had 2 accidents, maybe about 3 years ago. I remember her, I can't remember her name.
You mean Pet Oak?
No. This lady stayed in Pine Court. You stay right around that curve before you get to Governor State. And 2 cars went over in her property. I'm here to let them know that a guardrail is going to go up there real soon. We don't have to go to the resident's pocket. We get it from the head tax. They complain about the head tax. They don't have a solution for it. Where are they going to get the money for it? The head tax helps solve those 2 problems, and other problems it's going to solve. Public Works need moors. We were able to get 2 moors, 2 riding moors, and 1 stand-up moor from the head tax, which is helping the village of University Park. So to me, it's a good thing. It's helping out what we need, where we're short with our funds. The head tax is filling in and helping the village out. So I don't see a problem with that. On another matter, we're still talking to 4 companies that we talked to in Vegas. Hopefully we'll meet with them in a couple of weeks and maybe we can back down some and get them to sign on the dotted line. Those are my comments. Have a blessed day. Thank you.
Okay, Trustee Larry Brown.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to thank all of you in attendance for being here this evening. Viewing residents, board members, staff, and directors. we talk about, and we just want to add to, we talking about the head tax, what it's doing, which is great. But I had proposed a gas, alcohol, and a gas, a liquor, and an alcohol tax. And there's another gas, alcohol, and a cigarette tax, tobacco tax, which as a home rule unit, we can impose. That's not a tax that targets one group of individuals. It gets in and everybody. And we have actually 3 gas stations. We have, I don't know how many liquor stores in this town. We have people who buy cigarettes all over the place. And we are able to tax those entities, which would give us more on the long run than we get that we're going to probably get in the short term, and with no litigation, with no issues, and individuals come up here protesting why they're doing this and why I have to pay that. But and I don't have the numbers with me tonight, but I will have the proposed monies that the gas, tobacco, and alcohol tax will bring in this village, and that's over 0.25% increments, and that's money that we get every year. We're talking about doing our roads, just putting a rail guard up here in University Parkway. That's a road tax. Road tax money does that. That's what it's supposed to be for. You know, so, you know, the glass is half empty, glass is half full. And of course, we have differences in those things that we believe should happen. And I think it is healthy. But I think this is definitely something that we should have explored. We should not be, we should continue to explore it, because in the long run, it is going to give us the type of punch that we need in our reserves. Because if we truly had an emergency, we'll just have an emergency. So, you know, and I try to be on the right side of most of our issues. And if I have an issue with it, I don't have a problem telling any resident why I agree or disagree with it. So I'm not just going to appear and I don't do the name call. You know, I can talk intelligently with each and every board member up here, and you know, if I don't agree, I just don't agree, and you just keep it moving. You know, to say I think some of the ideas that we have are good, but could be better. You know, and I just don't believe that it should just the idea should just be shut off and you accept an idea and just keep going. I think everybody, we all contribute. You know, don't think that we don't care about this town. We do care about the town. We just have different ways of expressing those things that we want to do and see. Everything from A to Z. You know, we all want the best for our children. We want the best for our seniors. We want the best for our residents, because this is a blue-collar town. People work. We're professionals here. You know, and as I see, yeah, you know, we have to do and be better. We can do and be better. You know, so there would never be a time when, if we have anything for our youth, that I would be opposed to it. There's never going to be a time for that, because as a volunteer, and Ms. Franklin and her husband were volunteers here also. You know, they help coach our youth football for at least 10, 15 years. I think worked as volunteers for 3 or 4 years before they became involved in the administrative portion of it. So anything, you know, they always have a friend in me. All those individuals in baseball, football, have a friend in me, because I've been there and done it. I have. I'm sure Trustee Root has. You know, I've always looked and saw Trustee Root as volunteering. You know, so it's we're here because we know and understand what our town needs. We might vary in those things that we believe, and they're going to be. We have issues, but I would like to believe that there's no issues there should not be any issues that take it to the person. As you have residents say over and over, we should get along. Should. Don't mean it always happens. But that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Trustee Ruiz. You almost missed your turn. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, good evening, everyone, and I'm going to try to be as much as in compliance as I possibly can, but I want to just inform the residents on some breaking news that I was just informed of. For those who follow the third airport, IDOT just purchased Bolt Airfield, which is located in Monier, actually about 8.2 miles exactly from my front door in Monier, Illinois. In my opinion, Bolt Field's runways are just as large as Midway's runways, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe even a little longer. So I took myself out, and I took Trustee Griffin, Mr. Bell, and I don't know, and Mr. Townsend. We went out there to take a look at Bolt Field and talk to the people. Make a long story short, it's a very nice airfield. The facility is extremely nice. It's basically going to be what the South Suburban area, what Meigs Field was in Chicago, is how Bolt Field is currently. Now, with the state purchasing that airport, that means that we're mighty, mighty close to the main airport being built out in Peatone. So that's an alert. So we must get our people job ready right now to get the skills and the job training that's necessary, because the jobs are going to be coming very, very fast. You can just Google B-U-L-T field, and it'll give you all the statistics, and it'll show you exactly where it's located. It's in the footprint, right in the middle of the third airport. So it's been very, very quiet, and it is our job as legislators to ensure that University Park has its fair share in that third airport. As I get updated, I try to update all of my colleagues, the mayor, and everybody on this doggone board, because it's vitally important to us as a community to be so close and to be left out. That we will not have happen to us. So that's what's going on with the third airport, and I'm sure Congresswoman Kelly will be making more and more announcements as it comes on. And the creation of jobs and job training is very important. Something else I discovered this week, when Trustee Larry Brown, I heard him talking about taxing fuel, alcohol and other products, but the reason I'm not actually for that right now, because who does that burden go on? The residents. When we go to the gas pump, it hits us. When we go buy those who smoke cigarettes, it hits us. When we purchase alcoholic products for those who have cocktails, it hits us. So we try to find creative ways and innovative ways not to put the burden on the taxpayers. Our taxation rate for our real estate taxes is already extremely high. So I was in strong support of the employer expense tax, which most people call it in short, the head tax, which will actually benefit us. And it's not a stronghold, it's not a move, but it's a necessary move to get some of the improvements that are needed in our community without continuously going back and burdening the taxpayers. And what I did find out, something about Chicago that just blew my mind, and I don't know if everybody else knows this, but when you buy a case of water in Chicago, you get taxed for every single bottle of water in that case 5 cents. I thought that was just blew my doggone mind that it's the Chicago water tax that's been in place for the longest, and most people don't even know about it. And I'm in Chicago quite frequently, and I went to buy a case from my church, and they told me the water was $2.99, but by the time it wound up, it was over $5. And they explained to me that it's a nickel charge on every bottle in that case, even if you buy an individual bottle, charge on it. So, you know, there are a lot of ways that people try to create revenue in their communities. The way that we try to do it is not to burden the taxpayer. We're actually trying to reduce the cost of real estate taxes. So those are just some other things that we just can't have taxation without representation. So when we do bring additional taxes, we have to be smart in the taxes that we bring on. And the head tax, it's not anything that's threatening to those employees. Most of the people in the industrial park are understanding of that, because they're saying, wow, you guys got such bad deals. As the shoe is on the other foot. See, us legislators, we got to make them hard calls when no one stands with us. But you know, if it's the right doggone thing, you just got to stand your ground and do what's right for the overall community. And I think that's what the majority of the board has done. But to go along with that, what's really, really bad about it, we've got people on our board that undermine us. And that's really frustrating to me, because I've got a letter here that you got all these signatures on here. It says to Miss Cindy Davis from LMS in Telebound. They go behind the majority of the board and they want to form their own committees, they want to do other things, and says, well, we'll help you get out this head tax if you just put us in office, give us some campaign contributions, and we'll be the ones that can get you out this doggone head tax. And in my hand right now, since we got our new HD camera, we got Larry Brown's signature, we got Milton Payton's signature, we got Roosevelt Martin's signature, and James Young's signature. I think that's very detrimental to any progress that we are trying to make in this community when you have members of your own board knocking on these doors out there in the industrial park, telling them something completely opposite. That's disturbing, and people really need to know what's going on. We cannot move forward as a community when you got 6 of us going one way, and then after we close, turn our back, you got 4 or 5 other ones knocking on the doggone door saying, man, if you just support me and give me my chance, we're going to make sure that we're going to get all them people out the doggone way.
Read the letter, please, so we'll know.
Read the letter. Okay. Mayor?
I'm not a snake. I don't appreciate that. I don't call you names. Don't call me a name, okay? You don't keep calling me a name.
Okay, y'all. All right.
Don't call you names.
Okay.
Excuse me, we have a police officer here, if you'll hold the
I
matter.
appreciate it,
But you can't do that.
name calling, sir.
Okay, would you please let him read the letter, please?
I'm not a snake.
Please, let him read the letter so for clear. Let him read the letter, please.
Mr. Brown, you just
Please
said
order.
you disagree.
Please.
It's okay to
Please.
disagree. So
Right.
you disagree
So-
with him, so, but we don't have to disagree.
Ma'am,
Read
read the letter. Read the letter. I can't say that. Trustee Ruda, would you read the letter?
I ain't, but we got to have peace and calm.
Yeah, we do. Read the letter. Go ahead.
Just don't do the name call.
And Larry, just cool out.
Read the letter.
If it
Give
don't
me the letter. I'll read the letter.
Is this 3 minutes up there?
Yeah.
The following is a letter of introduction which is intended to be treated interested of you. The Village of University Park is the home rule municipality and such as responsible for operating their government in fair, equitable, and impartial manner. This requires their legislative body to understand how to govern and wield legislative powers of the benefit of every affected entity. Recently, a group of committed, well-known, dedicated citizens have organized themselves to establish a proactive stance for everyone's benefit. Their goal is to create a mutual partnership with industrial park businesses, village government, and the residents. We believe that a dialogue and open discussion is necessary and needs to occur regarding issues which affect business operations. This is a time to spring into action and develop a united coalition for change. We would like to invite you to an informal meeting on Thursday, July 17th at the Deer Creek Golf Course, 25055 West Western Avenue, University Park, 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock. Refreshments will be served. If you're interested, kindly RVSP to one of the telephone numbers indicated below by Tuesday, July 1st. All correspondence can be mailed to the University Park Citizens for Positive Change, P.O. Box 593, Crete, Illinois 60417. We look forward to meeting you with yours very truly, Larry Brown, trustee, University Park, and his phone number, Milton Payton, Roosevelt Martin, Mr. James Young, and it's got bios. And I'm not going to go.
Bios too, Mayor.
Okay.
Read
The bios of University Park trustee. No, they asked me. They want to hear the letter. University Park trustee Larry Brown is a family man. He had 5 children, 4 of which are adults. You open this can of worms, you got to eat it. And 3 grandchildren. He is a 25-year resident of University Park. Trustee Brown is a graduate of Governor State University BA program degree, 1997, and current master's degree candidate of American Intercontinental University. He has been a trustee in University Park since April 2005. He is the village liaison of Public Safety Committee and employed as Sergeant, Will County Sheriff's Office, Correctional Division. Other community involvement includes being former president and coach University Park Youth Athletic Association is in italics, so some things are truncated. 1987, 2003, and the former Baseball Association Treasurer 2000, 2003. Milton Payton is currently a trustee of University Park. He's a real estate broker. This is after 25 years as a corporate executive, always working or making a positive difference. Milton Payton has served as president as a member of the Crete-Monique District School 201U School Board. He has
also served a member, chairperson, Village Plan Commissioner, and Cable Commission Advisory Committee. He is a member of the Village Finance Committee, and he has a liaison to the Village Human Service Special Events Committee, Education Advisory Committee, as well as member of the Mooney Township Planning Committee. In addition, he served as SBA SCORE counselor for 10 years. Trustee Payton has been a strong advocate for improving the business and economic environments for the Village University Park community. Roosevelt Martin Jr. is a University Park resident who is passionate about making a difference. He is a strong advocate for positive change and has served as the second precinct committeeman in Mooney Township since 2010. Mr. Martin received a Bachelor of Science degree, Master's in Business Administration degrees from Roosevelt University, Chicago. He is currently a PhD candidate in Walton University. He has an extensive career in management, which spans over 30 years. Mr. Martin has worked for some of the top manufacturing companies worldwide and has traveled to many foreign countries in an effort to build relationships with foreign partners. He is employed by, I think this is a lady, Assistant Dean of College of Business, Chicago State University, James Young. James Young is married with a family of 3, 2 of which are successful adults. He is a graduate of Roosevelt University in 1976, University of Illinois 1987, Governor State University 2004. Mr. Young was honorably discharged from the First Sergeant United States Army, September 2000. He is a 16-year resident of University Park, currently employed as a middle school teacher, Chicago High School District 170, and an active member of the criminal justice system. His community involvement includes being 2-term elected trustee in Mooney Township and a member of the Board of Trustees of University Park Library. And since 2003, Mr. Young has also served as several committees within Crete-Monee School District 210U. During the time of his children's attendance and a former member of the Village of University Park Education Advisory Committee and Public Safety Committees 2004-2006. End of the letter.
Now, with that type of
No,
education,
I'm sorry, I can't take anything from the audience.
This
I'm sorry, I can't take
be
anything from the
people
audience.
like that.
I can't, those are the people that sent the letter. Please, ma'am, please, don't do that, please. Okay, is that the end of your comments, sir?
Can't be the hood like that.
Those are the candidates on that letter.
Oh, those are the, who?
Those are the candidates on that letter.
Oh, the candidates, okay. But you know, the bad thing is, we've got private citizens there working on behalf of the village, saying things that they shouldn't be saying, and that's very detrimental to our growth as a community.
What did it say in the letter?
I don't think that they.
Okay, no,
I don't
I'm
think it
sorry,
that way.
we can't do that,
I didn't take it that way.
ma'am. Comments?
It seemed like it was okay, but
Is that all you
they
have to
did.
say, sir?
It was okay, but they did.
Okay, my comments, Jesus.
Well, they could be
Okay,
working
I'm
on that
tired.
right now.
I thank you all for coming out tonight. I'm really happy for the comments because I take the negative and the positive and I build on it, and it's okay. You know, it's really interesting, you know, that the things, accomplishments that I am making, it seems like on the outside in Washington, D.C., I'm more respected there than I am here. And I go along with the young ladies at the Tea Party. No matter what I do, it's disrespected, and especially by women, it's really strange. But the things, the changes that I am making, I thank God for that. And I take all of it. I'm tough enough to do that. And I have not gotten this far in my career by being a softie. So I'm used to it, and I appreciate it. I really appreciate your comments, and it helps me. And I love you in spite of that. And your comments are good. And I take that, and I'm going to live with it. And I'm getting stronger with it as a stronger woman, as a phenomenal woman. We are, I'm happy to announce also that we have an enterprise zone now in our industrial park. And to let you know, I am on the board, Will County Board. I've been selected to be on the Will County Advisory Board there, and I'm well abreast of what's happening with the South Suburban Airport. It's really coming along big and good. There's some things we just don't put out there, but we are on the map, but we do need to position ourselves. And believe it or not, people, they look at our meetings. They look at our meetings. And it was opposite to me, should I give the $400,000? I can hold it if you say no. I said, no, please give us that $400,000. But we need to conduct ourselves. We talk about our children. Our children look at us, and our children look at you. And when we come up here and attack, is that what we're doing for our children? That doesn't look good. So we should be very mature about what we're doing. And those candidates were fantastic, and those resumes were good. And those are like-minded people. I'm not offended. if they want to do that. They have the right as legislators to do that. The other 4 do the same thing. They go and they make meetings. They have meetings, and we just don't know about most of them. But I didn't know about this one either, but that's okay. If they're doing anything to better the relationships with everyone, God bless them. That's what you're supposed to do up here. And I appreciate whatever you do in any area. I was on a tour with a Congresswoman 2 weeks ago, and she had there on, and the Speaker of the House, and she said, it was really funny. They said, when America succeeds, when women succeed, America succeeds. That was very interesting to see. And the man that made Happy made the statement that if the women would stop having children, kill the population. If the women would stop working, it would kill our economy. So I think women are pretty powerful. I think we're pretty good people. Pretty good sex of women. So, and you know, and I hear the moaning and the humming. I don't disrespect the rest of the guys when they do that, but that's the mentality of what they are. So here I would like to also give my condolences right now to Mr. Raleigh. He lost his mother, and I pray for the family. Please keep them in prayer. Also, the condolences of the loss of a young man that Mr. Darrell Bolton is why he's not here tonight. One reason I can say, the young man is 11 years old, he died, and he was a very good friend of his son's. He played soccer with them. So please keep that family in your prayers. And also, I see the trustee always says about John, I miss her tremendously. And I don't know if you know one of the ladies that worked for the village, Miss Claudia Webb, had an accident. She keep her in prayer as well. Miss Rose Nettles has returned from the hospital, so keep her in prayer. And our children, we should be examples, and we should watch our children. 2 weeks ago, we had a bad storm. I was out there in the rain talking about caring for your village. And I couldn't stand that someone bust the glass right here in our town center. And I'm not understanding. We're receiving revenue for those shelters now. We didn't before. And I found out from Pace, well, can we get money for that? Yes, we have right now got over $34,000 for those shelters. And the children, someone came out here and burst them. And I said, well, I can't take it anymore. I went home, got a hood on and a raincoat, and I started sweeping it. Thank God for our officers that came and assisted me. They said, Mayor, we touch you in Pace. You're out here in the storm cleaning up the glass. That's how I care. I care about it. And now I talked to Pace. I called her, and she came and replaced it today. Now another one was busted. Now you talk about, let's work, and I appreciate you young ladies today. Let's work with our children. Let's find out the parents. Let's talk there. Discipline your child. You know, stop throwing the paper out there. When you put it in your pocket when you need to go. Don't destroy something that we're getting. And I'm saying this is the point that if Pace comes out here and say, you know what, I'm tired of this. We're not going to keep replacing it. So that's $10,000 a year or more we're going to lose. Work with these babies. Tell your children, this is not what we want our village to look like. You want it clean? We got to work at home first with our babies. We can't start penalizing other people unless we penalize ourselves. And I'm really, really happy for the things that we are doing. I'm happy about the GP program, trustee. I'm happy about what you guys are doing. I'm happy about what you're doing with the mentorship and working with our kids. I know we've done it for a long time. And the one thing about the Thornwood House, I've been there, and I've talked to them several times. I've talked to the head person in Boston. I told the lady, you have one day to get some air conditioning over there. And it was done. So one day, or you will not like the repercussions that's going to happen. The seniors who were over there, we have people over there with MS as well, and they had no air conditioning. Nothing was done. And I think our code enforcement people really need to stay on them, because they should have been sending some type of tickets or finding someone. There's no air conditioner, really? And they said, oh, it's not time for that. No, it happened. So the garbage is overflowing. People are in there with dogs, and that's why it was so imperative when we tried to bring the senior building here and it got voted down. We tried to get another facility for these seniors to reside in, but that didn't happen. Those are important things, and those were jobs, and that was straight revenue, but we didn't see the importance of it. So I ask you to always come with your comments. I don't take them offensively. I do not. I take it to growth. You cannot offend me because I know what my purpose is. I'm placed for a reason, and I will continue to work as I do, 6-7 days a week. Every day people call me and I answer them. That's what we're here for. But I'm gonna tell you, there's only one little thing and I'm gone. There was a little jump with peanuts. The little girl Lucy, you know, she's very aggressive young lady. And she told Lion, you see these? Turn that channel. He said, I don't want to. She said, I'm gonna tell you one thing. By the time these fingers get together, you better change it. He saw that fist and he changed it. And you know what? He looked at his hands and he said, why won't you do the same thing, work together with me? I called for a
Mr. Payton, did the
in
problem
the
resolve
session.
itself
Is
as
that,
well
that's
without?
in, I asked for a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Is there a second?
There's a second.
Thank you. All in favor? Have a wonderful week, people.